Alright, welcome back to Pokepedia, entry number 10, Pikachu and Raichu. Remember to like if you like and subscribe down below for more videos. Alright, so the schedule is always look at the basics and stats for Pikachu and Raichu, battling and killing both Pokemon, leveling a Pikachu and evolving it into a Raichu or a Gigantamax Pikachu. You can pick either or. Tips and tricks for both Pokemons, as well as talking about biomes. Let's get into it. So of course, when making a survival game, you have to look at the phenotype of Pikachu to get a basic gist of how it will look in game. Obviously, Pikachu's phenotype is number 25 on the Pokédex. Its evolution is basic for now, because if you don't know, later on in Pokemon they added Pikachu, which is the basic evolution of Pikachu. But for right now, since we're going in order and not going to be covering any more generations until we're done with Gen 1. It is going to be the basic evolution until Pikachu comes in. When Pikachu comes in, may have to rework a little bit more. We'll talk about that when we get to Pikachu being added. But right now, type is electric, phenotype is mouse, height is 1 foot 4 inches, weight of 13.2 pounds. Role is consumer and type is herbivore because it is a mouse, which consumes cheese, plants, berries, and seeds. It does not consume other animals. So of course, Pikachu's stat block, of course, if you're making a survival game, you cannot just have the base stats of the Pokédex. Pikachu's Pokédex stats are HP scores of 3, attack score of 4, defense score of 3, speed score of 6, that's pretty high, and special attack and defense scores of 3 each. Now, of course, you cannot just have a Pokemon that has 3 health points, because that's just a melee punch away from being killed. So you need to make some advanced stats. And since Pikachu, even though it's a basic evolution, will become a stage 1 evolution in the future, we gave it a little more health than the other basic evolutions. So it has a health of 60, stamina of 200, food 300, speed 40 miles per hour with an attack of 24, a defense of 0 to 15%, and a special attack which is 50, almost double, and the special defense is 0 to 30%. So of course, a little bit higher stats, but you have to realize that Pikachu is technically a stage 1 evolution, but not currently, as we are only looking at its Gen 1 state. So of course, battling and killing, since Pikachu and Raichu are both herbivores, they are not optional kill Pokemon, so you cannot set them to kill on other Pokemon. However, you can battle, and of course, if you do kill a Pikachu or Raichu in the wild, you'll get the following loot options. So for a Pikachu, if you kill a Pikachu in the wild with an optional kill Pokemon, you'll get 2 to 3 pieces of glowstone, and on a rare occasion, it will drop a Thunder Shard. Now, if you do kill a Raichu in the wild, you may get 2 to 3 pieces of glowstone, 1 to 2 pieces of copper ore, and 1 to 2 thunder shards on a random occasion. So Raichu is definitely more worth killing than Pikachu, of course, but you can still get both thunder shards from both. So of course, there are 2 Raichu variants. So of course, Raichu has 2 variants in the main Pokemon game, in the most recent Pokemon game. There is a normal Raichu, which is the wild and tamed creature variant of Raichu that spawns in various biomes. And then you have the Alolan Raichu, which spawns, it was basically in the Aloha Pokemon game. I don't remember what the game name was called. There's so many of them at this point. But there's an Alolan Raichu that spawns, it's just a wild and tamed creature variant that only spawns on island biomes. So similar to the Rattata and the Raticate, which have Alolan variants, Raichu only spawns on island biomes when in the Alolan variant form. So of course, leveling and evolving a Pikachu, obviously you get XP from 3 sources earned from winning battles. Healing a Pikachu or Raichu with items will give them XP points, and mating and breeding Pokemon will also earn XP. Leveling up, when a Pokemon levels up, its health, attack, stamina, and defense will all upgrade, and its XP bar will increase by a percentage, meaning that level to level it would be increasingly harder to level up, because level 2 to 3 will cost less than leveling 3 to 4. Every 3 to 7 levels, a new move is able to be learned. So every 3 to 7 levels, there will be a chance for a new move to be added to the moveset of a Pokemon. Remember, Pokemon can only have 4 moves at a time, and even though there are some passive abilities they can use, moves are set at just 4. So you do have to sacrifice a move if you want to replace it with a new one. And every 5 levels, your special attack and defense will upgrade. So of course, since it's a Pokemon game, there's also evolution. So there are technically two option paths, two main option paths, but there are three with the Aloha and Raichu, so we'll go over them. So option A, number 1, a level 25 to 50 Pikachu can evolve into a Raichu. So basically, if you want to evolve a Pikachu into a Raichu, it can happen. Now, there is a certain item in the game, Thunder Shard. You can use Thunder Shards as well as Thunderstones, which will make it so a Pikachu will not evolve into a Raichu, and instead will skip the evolution of Raichu and go straight to the Gigantamax Pikachu. So that is option B. So option B is a level 100 to 150 Pikachu will evolve straight to a Gigantamax Pikachu. Now you may need to sacrifice some Thunderstones and Thunder Shards to make this happen by not allowing it to evolve when it's a level 25 and 50, and instead keep leveling it up until it's 100 to 150 to evolve into the Gigantamax Pikachu. So that's the option A and B, but there's a sub-option of option A called option A2. Again, a level 25 to 50 Pikachu will evolve into a Raichu, but if the said Pikachu evolves while at an island biome, so if the Pikachu is in an island biome when it evolves, it will evolve not into a normal Raichu, but into an Alolan Raichu, and that's how you get an Alolan Raichu from a tamed Pikachu evolution. So 3 evolution options, and again, stat increases, all stats except for speed will be increased by double, and new moves will guaranteed to be learned per when evolving. So that is the 3 evolution paths for a Pikachu to a Raichu, Pikachu to an Alolan Raichu, or saving a Pikachu, not letting it evolve until it reaches 100 or 150 to upgrade into a Gigantamax Pikachu. So of course there are tips and tricks for both Pokemons. Both Raichu and Pikachu have a passive called Static. When in battle, all moves have a 25 to 50% chance of causing paralysis naturally. So even if they're Pokemon moves that don't cause paralysis when cast against other Pokemon, all moves when using these two Pokemon technically have a chance of causing paralysis even if they don't with other Pokemon. They also have a passive called Signal. When set on Wander, so if you just throw out these Pokemon by their Pokeballs and set them on Wander so they wander around an area, their presence will increase the chances of other electric-type Pokemon from spawning nearby. So that basically means that if they wander around, then Electrites, Voltorbs, I don't think Rayquazas flies, so that wouldn't be the case, but any electric-type Pokemon that, spawn in like forests or deserts or anywhere where your base is, they will spawn in those areas more frequently if you have a Pikachu or Raichu wandering around. So very easy tip if you want to tame other electric-type Pokemon. There's also, number 3, a passive discharge. So this is only for wild Raijus and Pikachus. So when the cheek pads, as you can see here for Pikachu, are red, when the cheek pads of a Pikachu or Raichu light up, be wary, as this means they can release a wave of electricity that can stun you and most nearby creatures for a limited time. Basically, it's used as a defense mechanism. Since they are herbivores, they will flee away from you and run away from you because they don't want to be battled and definitely don't want to be killed. So they will use this to stun you, meaning that they can run away and you are stunned for a limited time, which means something like, say, a Charizard can walk up behind you and one-tap you and kill you. So do be wary about that. If you do see their cheek pads lit up, then, stay away, stay your distance. Try and throw your Pokeball like long distance. You can have like a long distance arcing throw, and you can be a little bit far away so you won't be stunned, and your Pokemon can still engage them in battle even if you are far away, as long as you throw good enough to have your ball land far away. And of course, some tricks. They have an ability. Pikachu and Raichu have an ability called Lightning Rod. This is a timed ability, so they can only use it every 10 seconds. This ability causes electric type moves to deal no damage to the Pokemon when using it. So basically, Pikachu and Raichu will be completely immune from taking any damage from an electric type move. Of course, they can still be paralyzed, but they will not take any damage from any of these moves. They'll just remain paralyzed. And of course, in a 2v2 battle, this is important. The Pokemon who activates this ability will have all electric type moves redirected to it regardless of if it was the intended target. So basically, think about this. So you're battling against let's say a Raichu and an Aardvark, and you throw out your Raichu, and you also throw out a Squirtle. Now, in this battle, let's say the Raichu uses Thunderbolts on the Squirtle, but you have a Lightning Rod activated. This basically means that even though the Raichu on the enemy team targeted your Squirtle, Lightning Rod makes it so that move will actually mean that Thunderbolt will target you, meaning it will do no damage to you. So basically, all moves, regardless, all electric type moves cast by the opponent team onto your team, even if the Pokemon using Lightning Rod is not the target, they will still be the one hit by the move, and of course, if it's an electric type move, will do no damage. So only works on electric type moves in a 2v2 battle, but it will be redirected to the Pokemon using Lightning Rod, meaning they take no damage and protect their teammate. So pretty useful trick. And the number 2 mobile outlet, since both Pikachu and Raichu passively store electricity in their cheeks. Once their cheek pads light up like you see in the wild, you can use them to charge up devices. They do not have passive discharge when tamed, so they cannot use this to stun nearby creatures, but they can use this electricity to charge up devices that you have around the base. So it is very useful to have a mobile, basically, power outlet. Alright, so the last thing we're going to look at is Pikachu and Raichu spawns for biomes. Obviously, spawn rates are color-coded, with blue being guaranteed, green very likely to spawn, yellow likely to spawn, orange few to spawn, and red for rare to spawn. Pikachu spawns in 2 biomes, being likely to find in temperate forests, and rare, but still will spawn in desert biomes. So you can either find them in temperate forests or deserts. Now, I do have to note, Gigantamax Pikachu does not spawn in the wild, only from a wild Pikachu evolving. So even if you find a very high level Pikachu, you may want to wait until it becomes level 100, because if it does, then it will evolve into a Gigantamax Pikachu. If a Pikachu is over the level of 75 in the wild, it does have a chance of becoming level 100 and evolving into a Gigantamax Pikachu. So if you do find anything that's over like level 75 in the wild, you may want to wait a little bit, because if it evolves into a Gigantamax Pikachu, you already have a free Gigantamax Pokemon that you can tame by battling it. You don't even have to wait for your Pokemon to level up. You can just get one for free, which is pretty useful in my opinion. But then we have Raichu, of course. Raichu spawns in 2 sets of biomes. Of course, there is the Alohan variant, but the normal variant of Raichu spawns few spawns in temperate forests, and rare to spawn in deserts. So still same biomes as a Pikachu, but a little bit more rare. But of course, if you want the Alohan variant of Raichu, it is very likely to spawn in the jungles of an island, and is likely to spawn on the beaches of an island, the island coast. So it's more likely to find an Alohan variant of a Raichu than it is to find a regular Raichu, but that's just because the Alohan variant is rare to find, because you have to find an island. So do keep that in mind, but also remember that there are 2 variants, so be wary about that. Alright, and that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like if you like, dislike if you don't, subscribe if you like it, comment down below your thoughts. Everyone, have a blessed day as always, and of course, as always, toodaloo!